Hello, my name is Roshan and I'm filming this video again outdoors because it's a quite humid day, but still being under trees, being surrounded by trees is not helping me. I'm still sweating. And today I'm talking about a book that is Wings of Fire by APJ Abdul Kalam. It's a biography written with the help of Arun Tiwari, who helped him in writing this book. So the reason I picked this book was, of course, the name APJ Abdul Kalam. He's such a well-known person, but still I'm quite ashamed to say that I knew who APJ Abdul Kalam was, but I had never read about him. Wanted to know more about his personal life, that what made him the person he was, and I wanted to read about his personal life, and that's why I thought reading a biography would help. But I'm quite disappointed when it comes to learning more about his personal life. But I think I should use a different word, not disappointed, because I think after reading this book, I have also realized that his personal life was nothing but technology, that his work was his personal life. And that's what I think the biggest takeaway from this book for me. I mean, I don't read much of non-fiction, and I think I should. And this is the one example that why I should be reading more about people with great mind. Of course, he was from India, and APJ Abdul Kalam, like since our childhood, we have been listening about him, how he became president, how he came from a very poor background, and what he became, the missile man of our country. So I picked up this book when I was in Delhi, and yeah, this was a very quick read because whatever he has written, it was intriguing, it was fascinating. But being less articulate in the term in the context of missile was, I would say, a quite challenging read, in the middle one. So the book talks about his childhood, how he became and joined the technological sector of our country, and how he became the man he is now, the missile man, how he worked and helped people reach where they are. So some of the ideas which he talks about in this book are the workflow, and I think you all are familiar with that, especially the people who find themselves lost while working. With coming of a smartphone, with coming of social media, we don't really find ourselves in that flow. But there are people who works. I'm one of them, and I don't really find myself in that flow moment all the time, in the zone, but whenever I do, it feels like, yeah, I have done something. So he talks about that idea. And the second idea, which really was something which I could relate to, was people of our country being too proud. Being proud in the context of they do not listen to their subordinates, they don't listen to their juniors. I mean, if we have some ideas, so people who are above us, how do they react? Even our parents, sometimes they act like they know everything. And the third idea, which is my favorite one, he was into literature and he loved Khalil Gibran. I don't know how to say his name, even though he's my favorite author. So I was really amazed when I knew that he read Khalil Gibran. I knew that, but reading or hearing from him from this book was really amazing feeling. I mean, he talked about his ideas, that how, especially about children, that how his father introduced him to this all idea, and how many people helped him to reach where he was, and he was always grateful towards them, his sister, his relatives, and all those teachers who had helped him become what he was. And yeah, it could have been more amazing if I could read about his personal life, but as I said, that his personal life was nothing but his work, and he was really a true leader, that how he inspired not just his colleagues but a whole generation. I mean, I think this book is for everyone, and especially for teenagers who have self-doubt, who are going through, especially I needed this one. I am a very self-critical person, and he also mentioned that it's not just about being critical about yourself, but learning through your mistakes and finding that, analyzing. If what I do and what most of the people do, they are able to analyze themselves, but do they actually apply what they have learned from those analyzation or those analytics? I don't think so. I don't do that. Biggest takeaway from this book was that analyzation thing, Prophet Khalil Gibran, and whatever he read in his childhood, he was interested in literature, and he really loved books. I mean, he didn't even marry, and his whole life was just missile, rockets, taking India to a level where they could compete with world. And yeah, his ideas were fascinating, and I hope to read more from him. I think there are more books written by him, so I'm looking forward to read them. There is one more idea in that book. He mentions these two terms. Most of the time communication gets confused with conversation. In fact, the two are distinctly different, and I have been and I have always been confused with both of these terms. See the difference between both of these words. I'll read the whole paragraph. I was and am a terrible conversationalist, but consider myself a good communicator. Conversation full of pleasantries is most often devoid of any useful information, whereas communication is meant only for the exchange of information. It is very important to realize that communication is a two-party affair which aims to passing on receiving a specific piece of information. He talks about how he was very bad at conversation but a very good at communication. Communication is all about sharing your ideas to the second person, right? And conversation could be about random topics. This is what I understood. So these are the few ideas that I take away from this book, and I recommend it to everyone, especially people who have self-doubt. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. If you have read this book, please leave a comment, and if you want to read it, please also leave a comment. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the brothers Karamazov. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you. Bye. Thank you for watching.